بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على البشير النذير السراج المنير أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه
وعلى آل الطيبين الطاهرين سيما بقية الله في الأرضين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. Dear brothers, sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our discussion was regarding al-hub, love, and how the force that Islam uses to revolutionize the human being is the force of al-hub, the force of love. We discussed that according to the teachings of the Blessed Household, all of religion and all of Iman can be summarized in that word, al-hub, love. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created mankind only for ibadah, only for worship. And all the human being does is worship. Every single human being. The question is, who or what does he worship? The object of worship for any person is the person is the individual or the thing that person is in love with. Whoever owns your heart, that is your ilah. And we discussed that one of the meanings of the word ilah is actually beloved. As for the one who is taking you towards your ilah, who you take as your guide towards your ilah, that is your imam. And the Quran is clear about this. يَوْمَ نَدْعُ كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. On the day we call all people with their imam. Meaning everyone has an imam. And everyone has an ilah. The question is, who is that? Now Islam is calling man to understand that what he is truly after, the ilah he is truly seeking, is the unlimited, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam gives man the awareness and understanding that this is what you truly seek and this is the way to get to that beloved. Don't waste 70 years of your life doing this and doing that, going left or right. This is the way. This is the sirat al-mustaqim, which will lead you to your destination. These are matters that we discussed. Yesterday, we presented an example of someone who, just like every single one of us, just like every single human being, had a battle going inside within their hearts. Had a battle going on inside their hearts. Between the love of Allah and the love of other than Allah. That other than Allah, Islam calls it ad-dunya. When you hear the term hubb ad-dunya, the love of the dunya, it's not the love of trees and mountains that Allah created in this world. These are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, one of the reasons why it's important for every Muslim, every mu'min, every human being to strive to learn the language of the Quran. And I don't mean any kind of Arabic, because today many different dialects are spoken. I'm not speaking about the dialects. It's good if someone learns that. It's good. But what's important is that every Muslim strives to understand the words of his Lord in Arabic, in the language in which it came down, the language of the Quran, Quranic Arabic. Why is it important? Because there are so many things that we miss when we rely on translations. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the noble Quran, if I get the ayah correct, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, that we have made it an Arabic Quran, a Quran in Arabic. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. We have made it a Quran in Arabic so that you may understand. Therefore, someone who only relies on translation, they can get and understand many things, but not the entire picture. And let me give an example here. That's actually very personal because it's related to myself. I remember as a kid reading the Noble Quran, growing up, reading the translation of the Quran, and I'd find that the Noble Quran often speaks about the dunya, the worldly life, the life of this world, the life of the dunya, right? I was relying on the translation. What's the translation? Al-Hayat al-Dunya that comes in the Quran? The worldly life, the life of this world. I was always puzzled by this. It never sat right with me. It didn't seem to make sense. I didn't understand it. I accepted it, but you know when you force yourself to accept something? Because that's what you're expected to do. But deep down in your heart, you haven't accepted it. Because religion cannot be forced. It cannot be forced. It's impossible to force someone to believe in something. Belief is a matter of the heart. The heart cannot be forced. The heart only changes or moves when it is touched, when it understands, when it falls in love. This was the question that was coming to my mind. Why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling me that the worldly life, the life of this world is bad? Isn't Allah the one who created this world? So on one hand, Allah created this world. And we know that if Allah creates something, it must be good. Because Allah is the source of all goodness. How then can He create something, not only this, in the Quran, order me to look at the things in this world, to look at the sky that's above me, to look at the birds in the sky, and recognize Him by means of these things, and then at the same time come and contradict Himself by saying this world is bad. The life of this world is bad. How does that make sense? It was only many years later. So I put this in the back of my mind. It was only many years later that, with the tawfiq to learn something of Arabic grammar, I was reading one of these verses again. It said something about al-hayat al-dunya. And it was like a realization hit me. That Allahu Akbar. There is a difference between hayat al-dunya and al-hayat al-dunya. Hayat al-dunya is what they call in Arabic grammar mudaf ilayh. It means hayatun fit dunya, the life of this world, life that's related to the dunya, to the world. The Quran never says hayat al-dunya. It says al-hayat al-dunya. How much difference can alif and lam make? A huge difference. Al-hayat al-dunya is not mudafun ilayh. It is sifa and mawsuf. There is a describing word and a word being described, adjective. Do you know what al-hayat al-dunya means? It doesn't mean the life of the world. It means the life that is lowly, that is dani, the lower life. And now everything makes sense. Because in the Quran, Allah calls us to a higher form of life. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله والرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم. Allah is saying in the Quran, oh you who believe, respond to Allah and the Messenger when He calls you to that which gives you life. What does that mean? It means there is a higher form of life available for the human being that Allah and His Messenger have come to give us. Yes, if a person prefers the lowly life, this physical life of the body that he shares with the animals, prefers to stick at that level, that's bad. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't be deceived by the lower life. There's a higher one available for you, which the Quran calls what? Al-hayat al-tayyiba, the pure life. Now it will make sense. Now it will make sense. So when we refer to ad-dunya, we're not referring to the world. You know what al-hayat al-dunya? It's not in the world, it's inside you. It's an internal condition. Hubb ad-dunya, the love of the dunya means love of that which is lowly. When you prefer anything over Allah, Allah is how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be described? He's al-aliyyul hadim, the elevated, the exalted, right? Anything in comparison to Allah is lowly. When you prefer other than Allah to Allah, you have chosen the dunya. That is your dunya. And this can be different things for different people. Whenever you choose other than Allah over Him, you've chosen حب الدنيا over حب Allah. And the hubb of Allah and the hubb of dunya cannot be combined in one heart. They will fight each other, battle each other until one conquers the other. Which one is going to conquer the other? And after which our destiny is sealed? Which one? The one we've been inclining towards more during our lifetime. This battle is going on in every single one of us. And examples of hubb al-dunya are not only what often come to our minds, like cars, big houses, wealth. No. One person's dunya is their children. When a person is faced with a choice between, I know this is what Allah wants me to do, but my child is saying he wants something else. That's their dunya. One person, you know what their dunya could be? It could even be being recognized as a public speaker. This is more to myself than yourselves, dear brothers and sisters. Does it make a difference to me if there are 1,000 people sitting in front of me when I'm speaking, or 2 people? Why does it make a difference? Why do I get upset? If Sayyid Haidar is lecturing for Allah, why does it make a difference to him? Why does he accept the invitation of a center, for example? May Allah protect us from doing this. If Sayyid Haidar accepts the invitation of a center where they have the crowds, because I enjoy that. This is his hubb al-dunya. Even if he's lecturing about the love of Allah. Therefore, brothers and sisters, be careful from where you get your religion. We have instructions from the Ahlul Bayt about this. Take your religion, take knowledge from where? Al-ulama al-rabbaniyun, the godly scholars, not every scholar. Not every scholar. Because some scholars are the sons of dunya. And they will call you towards the dunya while the name of Allah is upon their tongue. Be careful. Be careful. Find someone, find a source that your heart is assured this person is not after dunya. This person is after him. Ruh Allah, Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam was asked the following. Ya Ruh Allah, man nujalis? O Spirit of Allah, which is the title of Isa alayhi salam. O Spirit of Allah, with whom should we sit? And whose company should we sit? What did he say? Man yudhakkirukum Allah ru'yatuhu. The one who just looking at him makes you remember Allah. He hasn't even spoken, just looking at him. There were some who would go to the sessions of Allama Tabatabai rahmatullah, who was truly a godly scholar, an alimun rabbaniyun, and who trained others to become godly scholars. There were some who would attend some of his sessions. Afterwards, when they were asked, you will attend the sessions of this great man of God, what would he say? What did you learn? These people were clever. They said, we didn't really understand much of what he said. We would just go and look at him. And that was enough. Just the presence of a godly scholar, what it can do to the heart. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our hearts be those hearts that are filled with the love of Allah and empty of the love of dunya. Allahumma akhrij hubb ad-dunya min qulubina. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
So everyone has their own dunya. What is your dunya? That is something you have to see. But this dunya of yours is what is fighting over your heart in opposition to the forces of Allah. In any case, this battle is raging on within every single one of us, every moment. The battle for your heart. And your heart is the seat of authority that rules your body. As we explained some nights ago. Yesterday, We discussed an example of someone who had this battle going on within their heart, but they failed. In the end, the love of dunya got the better of them. That was that mal'oon Umar ibn Sa'd. The hubb of dunya got the better of him and conquered his heart. Today, let's discuss the story of someone else who also had the same battle going on within his heart. But this story has a very beautiful ending. I feel that this story deserves more than just a few minutes at the end of Muharram. There are so many lessons to learn from the story of Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyah. And I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that amongst the companions of Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam, he placed this man. Why? Because I can never be like Ali ibn al-Akbar or Qasim ibn al-Hassan, the children of the A'immah. Maybe I can never be like Muslim ibn Awsaj or Habib ibn Mudahir. From the beginning, they were on this path. From the beginning, they were from the purest of the pure. Years and years of purification, ibadah, and loyalty to the imams. And I look at myself, where is Habib? Where am I? Where is Muslim? Where am I? I know myself. I know myself. But there are two you can never actually deceive. First is your Lord, the second is yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره. The human being is a watcher over himself, meaning he knows very well what he is doing, even though he throws forth his excuses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. Don't show off your piety. He knows well who is truly pious. I can deceive you, but I can't deceive myself. I know I'm not Habib, I know I'm not Muslim. These loyal companions of the Imam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amongst the companions of Al-Hussein placed a person so that I do not lose hope. Place someone who is a beacon of light until the day of judgment. I like to say that is, oh Hur, you are for the sinners. You are for those who haven't been loyal to the Imam. They love the Imam. They want to be close to him. But they've been ghafla. The dunyas got the better of them. The desires got the better of them. But they want to come back. Some of the brothers here, the sisters here, there may be someone here sitting, thinking, this is for me. Maybe Hur is the one who will save you tonight. Maybe Hur is the one who will save us tonight. Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyah, Ruh al-Fidah. When does the name of Hur first appear? In the story of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam with his loyal companions had set out towards Kufa because those who claimed to be Assyrians in Kufa had written letters to him, hundreds of letters, saying, come, we don't have an imam to lead us. You come and be our imam. We are ready for you. We will defend you. All of these claims, all of these claims, all of these claims. Abu Abdullah alayhi salam sent Muslim ibn Qaim to test the waters. Go to Kufa and see how the situation on the ground is. Muslim went. Thousands gave bay'ah to Muslim. He wrote to Abu Abdullah alayhi salam to come. These people are ready. Incredible. Like the story of Kufa deserves its own series. So that's not our topic, so I'll not open it too much. How Ubaydullah Ziyad conquered Kufa with just about 30 people. 30 versus 1,000. Why? Because the hearts of these thousands were not pure of the love of them. In any case, Muslim ibn Aqil writes to Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, come, the grounds are ready. Of course, at that time, it takes a while for a letter to come and go, right? Abu Abdullah alayhi salam is in the holy city of Mecca. Muslim is in Kufa. By this time, many letters have reached the Imam. Muslims lecture has also reached the Imam. So the Imam sets off towards Kufa. Because when the people want the Imam, he's going to come to them. And here is our first lesson. Why does the Imam not appear? Exactly the statement. When the people want the Imam, he will come. The question is, how much do I want? Is it more than I want my own self, my own desires? Or do I still have work to do? Once a person, we'll go back to the story of Hur in a moment. Once a person said, in fact, it wasn't just a person. Ayatollah Bahjat Rahmatullah alayhi was one of our great scholars, spiritual scholars, one of the ulama al-Rabbaniyun, one of the godly scholars. I'm paraphrasing what he said, a few details may be off, but the gist of it is as follows. He once said in one of his lessons, he had open lessons, by the way. I haven't heard it directly, I read it in a reliable book. Someone was quoted, they heard him say this. He said the following story. He said that once there was a pious man by the name of Sheikh Ibrahim. Sheikh Ibrahim loved the Imam of the time very much. Once Sheikh Ibrahim visited the holy mosque of Kufa or the holy mosque of Sahla, I forget which one. Perhaps it was the Sahla mosque because that's related to the Imam of the time. He enters the masjid, he sees there are many people there. One person is praying, one person is reciting the Quran, one person is doing dua, one person is doing the dhikr, and he busies himself with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and salah and so on and so forth. It just so happens that while he is praying or after he is praying, sleep comes over him. For a moment, he falls asleep. He sees a dream. In his dream, he sees himself above this masjid where he's currently located. And he's looking down on the masjid and seeing all of these people engaged in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tawassul towards the Imam of the time. And then a heavenly presence enters before him. And he finds himself in the presence of Imam Sahib al-Zaman, Ruhi lahu al-Fida. And the Imam says to him the following. He says, Shaykh Ibrahim, do you see these people? These are the best. I paraphrase all these lines, because these are the ones who come to remember Allah. These are the ones who come to the masjid. Not the ones who are chasing after dunya. So these are the ones who actually come. Do you see these people? One of them has come seeking from us to heal one of their relatives. One of them has come asking us to make them successful in finding a spouse. Maybe another one has come asking us to do what? To pass an exam. And none of them have come seeking us. Sometimes my love for that beloved actually is just a cover for loving myself. I want the Imam so he makes my life better. So it's actually the love of my own nafs that I'm after. I want the Imam so he helps me, he solves my problems. A true mu'min at the highest level of Iman loves himself for the sake of the Imam, not loves the Imam for the sake of himself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq to be those true mu'min. In any case, back to the story of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. These lectures have come, Muslim has written a letter, the Imam and his companions set off towards Kufa, because the Shia of the Imam, those who claim to be his followers, they called the Imam, so he's responding to their call. He's heading towards Kufa with his companions. On the way, he receives the news of the martyrdom of Muslim ibn Aqil and Hani ibn Harba. So what he does, the Imam of that time, Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, is he sends another person to Kufa to check again. So he's still moving towards Kufa. He hasn't deprived the people of Kufa of himself because of this incident. Go and check what's happening on the ground. They continue moving towards Kufa through the deserts until they find that they receive the news of the martyrdom of that messenger as well. And then the Imam realizes that no, Kufa isn't the place to go into. These people are not loyal. Okay? This is where the Imam is about, rather Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi is about to have his first encounter with Imam al-Hussein. So the Imam, his household, his companions are moving through the desert now. No longer towards Kufa. No longer towards Kufa. How this happens is that at the night, for example, they rest. Morning, they pray the Fajr prayer with the Imam, and then the Imam says to them, take a lot of water with you, okay? They take water for their journey. In any case, the Imam and his companions are moving in a certain direction. In the distance, one of the companions of the Imam is making something out in the distance, a silhouette. Remember, it's a desert, brothers and sisters. It's a desert. It's not a city. It's a desert. If you've been in a desert, you know the conditions are difficult. Sometimes you see something that's not really there, right? You see something on the horizon, you can't make out what it is. This companion of the Imam says, Yabna Rasulullah, I think it's a palm tree. Other companions of the Imam say, no, it's not a palm tree. It's a group of people. The Imam and his companions keep moving. Soon it becomes evident it's a group of people coming towards them. And it's a lot of people. So they realize it must be a regiment. There must be soldiers. Who are these soldiers? Why are they coming? Are they coming to join the Imam, to fight the Imam? They don't know yet. I mean, Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, from that connection with Allah, he knows, but on the outward level, he doesn't, not he, but like the companions don't know, and the Imam acts as if he doesn't. Another point right here. You know one of the reasons the Imam chose to not use that divine knowledge too much, but rather act as normal people act. Go along and use the outward means of the dunya the way everyone else does, is so they could be imams to us. So we could follow them. Otherwise, Abu Abdullah alayhi salam knew what would happen to him and his companions before he entered this world. That's in his own place. In any case, they see these soldiers in the distance. So Abu Abdullah alayhi salam orders his companions to divert their route a little bit so that they don't come face to face with them. They divert in one direction, those soldiers come in the same direction. Until these two armies come face to face. The leader of this army is a man by the name of Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. It's an army of about 1,000 people, a regiment of about 1,000 people. One of the first things that is related, Abu Abdullah alayhi salam asked Hurr is, Alana am alayna? Have you come to support us or to oppose us? And Hurr replies, Bal alayka ya Abu Abdullah. We've come to oppose you, Abu Abdullah. Okay? One of the first interactions. This is the first time that Hurr is meeting Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. In any case, it's almost Dhuhr time. So imagine, desert, sun, no shade, horses, a lot of walking. It's tiresome. These soldiers are probably wearing armor. They're thirsty. They're tired. What does Hurr see? The first encounter with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. What does he see? Remember the battle going on inside his heart? What does he see? Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says to his companions, this isn't the time for the Masa'ib yet, but this life is so painful. And you understand why. He says to his companions, give these soldiers water. They begin taking out their water and giving water to every single one of these soldiers. This is Rahmatullah al-Wasi'ah, the mercy of Allah that's spread out for creation. Give them water. The companions of the Imam, obedient to the Imam. They give every single one of them water. Only this? No. You know what else the Imam said? Give their horses water. Who's seeing this? What's happening to the heart of Hor? They give water to their horses. One of the individuals who was at the back of this regiment, he was one of the last ones to arrive. He says the following. He says, I'm paraphrasing, but the gist of it is the following. He says, I came and I was in a very bad condition. I was thirsty, and it's clear that he wasn't really, he was about to pass out, it seems. I came with my horse, and I found myself in the presence of Abdullah alayhi salam. Imam Hussain alayhi salam said to me, something like this: put your horse to the side, or put your camel to the side. I think it was a horse. Put your horse to the side, and open your water bag, because he wanted to give him water. This person tries to open the water bag, but he doesn't succeed, or he tries to tie it and he doesn't succeed. The Imam himself took his water bag and tied it for him.
Subhanallah.
Who's seeing this? Where is this regiment coming from? From Kufa. Why is it coming? Because the governor of Kufa, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, la'natullah, was someone who was completely loyal to the enemies of Allah. Okay? He didn't have a battle going on his side. The dunya already won his heart. He had a hatred towards the Ahlul Bayt. He was this cruel, heartless person who enjoyed inflicting pain on his enemies. He sent this regiment, he sent Hur with this regiment to do what? To bring Al-Hussein alayhi salam into his court. Okay? To give Al-Hussein alayhi salam to him. Alayhi salam says to one of his companions, recite the Adhan. He recites the Adhan. Then Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam turns to Hur and asks the following question. No? Or he still makes the following suggestion, that if you like, I pray with my companions, I lead them in prayer, and you lead your companions in prayer. And this part is very important. Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi says, no, we will pray behind you, O son of Allah's messenger. Look, brothers and sisters, it's not black and white. Is Hur sinful in this point? Yes, but there is goodness inside it. And this is the story of so many of us. There's a battle going on inside. This is why we say, never turn people away from the masjid. Let people come, even if they're not religious. You don't know what battle's going on inside them. This person might be a Hur ibn Yazid or Riyahi of his time, or her time. Let people, we don't know what struggles people have. Even if on the outward level they're sinful, and that sin is bad, and we condemn it. But you don't know what's led that person to commit that sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never closes the doors of his mercy to his creation. Never. So why do we close our doors? Why do we misjudge people so quickly based on their outward conditions? Shall I mention to you a very scary narration? It's related, I forget which of the Imam it was, but it's related to the following. That when Imam Sahib al-Zaman alayhi salam appears, you know what's going to happen? If I get the Arabic correct, خرج من هذا الأمر من كان يرى أنه منه. Individuals who thought they were part of this matter, meaning the Imam, they will leave. And individuals, the likes of the worshippers of stars, will hit. Because the dhuhr of the Imam isn't the dhuhr of the Imam, it's our dhuhr. You your reality will become manifest in that moment. Look, those whose Islam is only on the outward surface level, they're the ones who killed Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You have to be careful. Haven't we seen that in the past years, actually, and the past month specifically? Haven't those images from Gaza and Palestine of these believers and Muslims in Palestine, who on the outward level have lost everything, yet all they can do is praise Allah and thank Him? Haven't individuals who had nothing to do with Islam been so moved by this that they've entered Islam? Hasn't it happened already? This same person could have been someone who was walking down the street yesterday in Tesco. You met them in Tesco, saw them in Tesco. They'd be the last person you think would come to Iman, but it happened. You have to be careful before we misjudge people so quickly. Be merciful to people so that Allah is merciful to you. Irham turham. This is the narration of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Straight he said, show mercy, you'll receive mercy. Meaning show mercy to Allah's creation, Allah will show mercy to you. Back to the story of Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. Look, is he sinful? Yes. He's obeying the Taghut. He's come and stood in front of the Imam. But there's still going on in his heart. What does Hurr have? He has adab. He has humility towards the Imam. He's not fake. You know, Hurr wasn't from those who wrote it. He never wrote a letter to the Imam. He didn't betray them. He never claimed to be anything. He didn't see himself as something great, even though he was one of the bravest and strongest warriors from Kufa. Everyone knew Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi as a man of the battlefield. He says, we'll pray behind you, O son of Allah's messenger. So the Imam leads them in Salah. He then goes into his tent, comes out again at Asr time, and again they pray. After Asr time, the Imam now orders his companions to mount the horses. Get ready, we're going to continue. Then he turns towards who? The people who are with Hurr. Who are from who? From the people of Kufa. And he reminds them of their duty to Allah. He reminds them of who he is, who the Ahlul Bayt are. He reminds them of the fact that the right of the Ahlul Bayt, which is the right of governing humanity, is in the hands of the oppressors and the Zalimeen, and not in their hands. And in the end, he reminds them of what they had said to him. And he says to them, I'm paraphrasing, if I have come to you, O people of Kufa, I'm here now. Al-Hussein is here now, I've come to you. You called me, I've come to you. So if you don't want us, then we will return from where we came. Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi didn't know about the invitation of the people of Kufa towards the Imam. He said, "O Abu Abdullah, I don't know what these letters are that you're speaking about." Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam had brought those letters of the Kufa people with him. He said to one of his companions, come and bring those letters. They brought 2 big containers. They poured the letters in front of these people. Hundreds of letters. The Imam turned to the companions of Hurr. He said, these are your letters, O people of Kufa. You know what the report said? It says, not a single one of them answered him. There was just silence. Who's seeing this? Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. So the Imam mounts and he tells his companions, go, move. So they start moving. Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi has orders. So the Imam and his companions are moving. Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi and his companions are trying to stop the Imam. It's in that moment that the Imam turned to Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. He said, what? ثَكَلَتْكَ أُمُّكَ مَاذَا تُرِيدُ? May your mother weep over you. What is it that you want? When he said these words, it was like, it wasn't a curse, but it was a disrespectful term. تَكَلَتْكَ أُمُّكَ, may your mother mourn over you. It means may you die. Okay? It was a term that was used amongst the Arabs at that time. But there was an element of some disrespect. Why? Because the mother of the person to mention, that's a very sensitive person to mention for anyone. Right? But the Imam knows well what he's doing. What is he doing? He's winning over the heart of Hur. Allahu Akbar. When Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, this battle commander, who's known for his bravery, when he heard these words, he said to Abu Abdullah, Ya Abu Abdullah, had any other man from amongst the Arabs uttered these words to me, I would have replied to him the same manner. But I cannot mention your mother except with the utmost respect. Why? Because your mother is father. The second thing that Hur had, yes, he was sinful, the love of Fatima to Zahra. Some of us are here today to say to the Imam of our time, Ya Sahib al-Salah, I'm a sinner. I don't deserve to even be able to mention your name. But wallahi, when the name of your mother is mentioned, something happens to my heart. There is something on the love of Fatima to Zahra in my heart. Loving Zahra is the secret to secure heaven. This love will save this sinful slave of that household. The love and respect of this household in his heart. Okay. What happens next? The Imam alayhi salam is advised by Hur. Look, he loves the Imam. He says to Abu Abdullah, don't have yourself killed. If you're insisting on doing what you want to do, choose a path that doesn't go to Kufa and doesn't go to Medina either. And they argue. Hur argued with the Imam. And in the end, when the Imam was adamant on doing what he wanted to do, Hur said these words to me, advising Allah, I'm advising you, please, for God's sake, for the sake of Allah, don't have yourself killed. Find a different path if you're insisting on not going to Kufa. Don't go back to Medina either. What happens? The Imam continues. The companions of Hur are moving alongside the Imam with a distance between them. A letter reaches Hur from Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Saying what? Saying, commanding Hur. And of course, when the letter reached him, it wasn't a letter with a pigeon, it was a letter with a person. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, that Mal'un sent this person's messenger to give this to Hur, give this letter to Hur, and remain with Hur to ensure he does what I've commanded. He sent him as a spy over Hur, to ensure his order was fulfilled. What was in that letter? Ubaydullah, that Mal'un said to Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi in that letter, be harsh towards Al-Hussein, and make him descend in a land without shelter and without water. And he continued, this man I sent to deliver this letter to you, I have appointed him as a watcher over you to ensure our command is fulfilled. Abu Hur reads this letter. What's happening to the heart of Hur? This battle is going on. The love of Al-Hussein alayhi salam is putting him in bonds. His situation is difficult. What does he do? He goes right to Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. The next thing Hur had, honesty towards the Imam. He was honest. He said, oh Abu Abdullah, this is the letter of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. He's appointed this man as a spy over me. And he's told me to be harsh towards you and to make you descend in a land without water and shelter. The Imam says, allow me to go to one of these neighboring villages. But Hur said, this is the order of the Amir. So Hur is doing a huge sin. But he has humbleness and honesty towards the Imam of his time. Okay. The next time we hear about Hur is when? On the day of Ashura. What's happened in this time? What's happened between this time? When he first met the Imam and fell in love with Al-Hussein alayhi salam, this war has been going on inside his heart. On the day of Ashura, when Hur has seen what's happened, when Hur has seen that Abu Abdullah alayhi salam is left alone with this small band of companions, his household, his women, his children. And he is the reason. This is important. It wasn't a small sin that Hur did. He is the reason. He's the one who imprisoned the Imam, his household, his women, his children in this land without water. He carried out the order of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Now it's the day of Ashura. That's when Umar ibn Sa'd has arrived with thousands of more soldiers. And Hur is watching this now. Brothers and sisters, this is our story. All of us will be pushed into this moment sooner or later. Well, you'll have to choose between the love of Al-Hussein and the love of dunya. That they told us their followers will be sieved their followers will be sieved until only the purest remain. They will be purified the way gold is purified. Gold is burnt. Allah will put you through test after test after test to purify you, to elevate you. But it's down to you how far you come. Many people joined Imam Hussein on his way to Karbala, but very few remained. Day by day, the forces of Umar ibn Sa'd, the numbers were increasing. And day by day, the companions of Imam Hussein the numbers were decreasing. This is it now, Hur. You have to make your decision now. There's not much time left. Time is running out. Time is running out, oh Hur. This is the day of Ashura. Hur is in disbelief. Who is he? Warrior, master fighter, champion. Everyone in Kufa knows his name. He's in disbelief. He's seeing Al-Hussein alayhi salam, his household, his children, his women, his companions, who have been thirsty and deprived of water. He's seeing the forces of Umar ibn Sa'd in their thousands. He goes to Umar ibn Sa'd. He says, "Oh Umar, do you really want to fight this man?" He can't believe it. "You really going to fight this man?" Umar said, "Yes. By Allah, the least of this fighting is that hands will be severed and heads will be flying." Why? Because by this time, Umar, the dunya has conquered his heart. But Hur, not yet. Hur goes away from his companions and separated from Umar ibn Sa'd's forces. Now his heart is shaking. One of the people who was around Hur, he saw Hur, he said Hur was shaking, physically shaking. Why? Because this battle is going on inside, but now he has to choose. Time is running out. Which side will you be on, O Hur? This companion of Hur said to him, "O Hur, what is this condition I'm seeing you in? By Allah, if I was asked about the bravest man of Kufa, I would have mentioned your name." And this is when he uttered those words. "Inni wallahi ukhayyiru nafsi bayna al-jannati wal-nar." By Allah, I'm seeing myself choosing between the fire and the paradise. La ilaha illallah. Then he said the following: "By Allah, I won't choose anything over paradise, even if I'm burnt and cut to pieces." But there's one more test Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi has to face. What test is this? When this sinful Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi was the reason Abu Abdullah and his household were imprisoned in that land, he has to face Abu Abdullah, he has to face his children, he has to face Lady Zainab. It's very difficult, wallah, la ilaha illallah. The Maqtal says Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi mounted his horse. He mounted his horse and went towards the camp of Abu Abdullah. In this journey from the hellfire towards the garden, what was he doing? He raised his hand towards the heavens. He put his hand on his head. He said, "Oh Allah, I've done tawbah to you. Forgive me. Accept my tawbah." Look, he was sincere. He wasn't fake. He said he came clean to Allah. He said, "Oh Allah, I am the same person who imprisoned your beloved one in this land. Oh Allah, I am the same person who made fear to enter the hearts of your beloved one." What do I want to say? Ya sahib al-sarai, I am the same one who shot your heart with the arrows of my sins. But accept me tonight as your father accepted Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. He enters into the camp of Abu Abdullah. Ya Allah. He's filled with so much shame. How can he face the Imam? The Imam asks him, who are you? Introduce yourself. He comes clean to the Imam. He says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, I am that same man who imprisoned you in this night. By Allah, I didn't think they would reach this position where they would spill your blood. Ya ibn Rasulullah, I've made tawbah. Is my tawbah accepted? Almost without thinking about Abdullah said, Na'am, Yatub Allahu alayk. Yes, your tawbah is accepted. Allah has accepted it. But he was true to his tawbah right till the end. He said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, Ya Aba Abdullah, I was the first one to stand before you and oppose you. Allow me to be the first one to go and defend you. La ilaha illallah. Abu Abdullah gave him permission. Just moments before, these were the companions of Hur. He was on that side. Now he's come out on his horse facing the enemy. He calls them towards Al-Hussein alayhi salam. He says to them, O people of Kufa, you are the same people who called this righteous servant of Allah to lead you. What happened to your loyalty? This is Hussein, the son of Allah's messenger. This is Hussein, the son of Fatima. You deprived him of water, while the beasts of the desert drink from the water. He did everything to call them back to Allah, but they didn't listen. They came towards him one man at a time. This is the warrior of Kufa. His heart is at ease now. The love of Al-Hussein has conquered his heart. Alhamdulillah. How blessed you are, Ahur. Take my hand tonight as well, Ahur. He comes forward, they come forward. He sends many of them to the fire of hell. This is the bravest man of Kufa. At least 40 of them he sends to the fire of hell. Until that malhoun comes forward, what does he do? He cuts the legs of the horse of Hur. So Hur comes onto the ground, but he continues to fight. He sends a great number to the fire of hell. What did these people do? They had no honor. Many of them came together and attacked him from every direction. La ilaha illallah. These are the final moments now. La ilaha illallah, ya Aba Abdullah. In those final moments when Hur was breathing his final breaths, la ilaha illallah. What happened in those moments? There's different narrations. One account says the following: he was brought back. He says the final moments of Hur's life in this physical world. He's about to leave now. How blessed you are, O Hur. He was brought back into the presence of Abu Abdullah. Do you know what Abu Abdullah did? This is what the Imam does to the sinners who return towards him. Ya Sahib al-Zaman. This is your father, Ya Sahib al-Zaman. La ilaha illallah. You carry his fragrance, Ya Sahib al-Zaman. Ya Sahib al-Zaman, I've come back towards you. La ilaha illallah. What did Abu Abdullah do to Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi? He bent down beside him. He took his blessed hand. He began wiping the face of Hur, wiping the dust and blood from his face. On that day, Hur honored the mother of Abu Abdullah. In this moment, Abu Abdullah honors the mother of Hur. He says, what? أنت حر كما سمتك أمك. You are Hur, free, just as your mother named you. حر في الدنيا والآخرة. But allow me to say this, oh Hur, how blessed you are. طوبى لك يا Hur. In those final moments, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein came to your side. He took his heart. He wiped the dust from your face. He prayed for you. He remembered your mother with honor. Where did your heart go? لا إله إلا الله حر بن يزيد الرياحي. After you were martyred, the people of your tribe came. They took your body, they buried it with honor. Would that you were there to see Abu Abdullah in the moment of his loneliness, O Hor. Tell me, O Hor, who was there to come and wipe the blood from the face of Abu Abdullah? Who was there to wipe the dust from the face of Abu Abdullah? When he was surrounded from every direction, one of them struck the Imam with his sword, another one struck him with his arrow. Those who had nothing would take stones from the ground and pelt them towards the Imam. O Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. The final voice you heard was the voice of Al-Hussein. But the final voice that Al-Hussein heard was the voice of Shimr ibn al-Jawshan. That Mal'oon came, what did he do? He didn't pray for Al-Hussein alayhi salam. He didn't remember Al-Hussein's mother with honor. What did he, the first thing he did? He came to the side of Abu Abdullah. He swore at the father of Abu Abdullah Al-Hussein. He swore by Shatam Al-Hussein. He swore at Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He swore at his household. La ilaha illallah. Ya Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. Your tribes people came. They took your body. They buried it with honor. Ya Hur. Where were you on the day of Ashura to see what happened to the body of Abu Abdullah? Umar ibn Sa'd buried his own soldiers. He forbade them to bury the companions of Al-Hussein. The body of Abu Abdullah was left in the desert without being buried. No head on this body. Only this, no. They took his turban. They took his haba. Only this, no. Abu Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. Would that you were there to see how that Mal'oon Umar ibn Sa'd said, who will come forward with their horses and crush the back of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا بأي منقلب ينقلبون. On behalf of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, let's send the salam upon the martyr of Karbala. Assalamu وبركاته وصلى الله على باقين على الحسين.